How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully everyone's having a lovely day. Woke up to a shocker this morning out of Ohio State. Kyle McCord entering the transfer portal. Kyle McCord winning every single game as a starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes, with, of course, the exception of the final game, the most important game of the year against Michigan. And to see this happen, it raises some eyebrows, to say the very least, because you rarely see the team's starting quarterback have that sort of success and then enter the transfer portal, especially out of a top tier program like Ohio State. And really, there's a couple of different ways you could look at this potentially being a reason. Number one being, hey, Ryan Day came out and said, hey, you're going to compete for the job next season. We expect better than this out of Ohio State. We expect better than this out of Ohio State quarterbacks. Kind of not telling him that directly, but kind of implying like, there's a QB battle this season, might be again next season. We might look to go a little bit younger guy we can get 2 years out of. We feel like there's some room for improvement in that area, and you're going to have to battle out to play here. And Kyle McCord might have said, okay, maybe I should take a chance going somewhere else. Kyle McCord might have said, hey, some teams are going to probably pay this guy to go play somewhere else. And here's the thing with Kyle McCord. If you're wondering what kind of, loss this is for Ohio State, it's not a shot at Kyle McCord. I think there's a lot of fans that are kind of upset about how he played this season. He had some good games, and he had some not so good games. Kind of the problem is the expectation for Ohio State is so freaking high right now, because Justin Fields, Dwayne Haskins, these last three starting quarterbacks that could just stand in a pocket and sling it all game. I mean, it's hard to keep that train running. You're gonna have breaks in the action, and the expectation was just so high for Ohio State. I mean, he was a solid quarterback by all accounts for a college football quarterback. It just, when the expectation is first round draft pick quarterback, no, he ain't there. And that's the thing there you have to remember, just where the expectation is. But here's the thing with Kyle McCord that kind of raises the question marks. He was draft eligible this season. And obviously, if, teams and scouts thought he was good enough of a quarterback, he would have just entered the draft. But he chose to go somewhere else, which makes you question if he felt like he knew, kind of like Ryan Day even said, like, hey, he kind of knows he's got to find an opportunity elsewhere. He might not even get one here. Might as well go get paid while I'm at it, because who knows? Who knows what happens if I'm not I'm not on the boards now. Who knows what's going to happen next season? Let's go and at least go somewhere, try to make it a little bit of money, potentially open the door once again. Because the thing with McCord was, I don't think you can possibly get a better situation than he had this season. I mean, you got what they were saying, two of the best wide receivers in all college football, 2 first-round draft picks, and you talk about a guy that already calling the H word, Hall of Famer, and Marvin Harrison Jr. And the thing was, that was his high school teammate, and it felt like there was games where that connection was not there. He was missing Marvin Harrison. The thing I was saying before with Kyle McCord is Marvin Harrison Jr. should have never had under 50 receiving yards in a game, especially against not so good football teams, and it happened a few times. And if your chemistry should be the number one and best it possibly could be is with your high school teammate, and it still wasn't there, that does raise some questions of concern with Kyle McCord. I think that was my biggest eye opener, if you will. Eyebrow opener. That's great. That one got me. It made you wonder, because it did feel like knowing Marv's talent there, that should have been a Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, or Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase kind of connection at LSU. It should have felt like. And I don't know if it ever, came to that fruition completely. It came close, but not completely. So nonetheless, I think, those conversations were had with Kyle McCord and Ryan Day. And it's like, all right, you know what? Maybe it is the best idea to enter the transfer portal. The other side of things could be, and if that is the case, again, credit Ryan Day. That is a difficult conversation. That's kind of something it's a big risk if you're Ryan Day to say, okay, now we have to get a quarterback next season. There's no guarantee who starts. We got to figure it out. Hopefully we get somebody to transfer portal. Maybe they got somebody lined up. That's a big risk, but he knows his head coach, hey, you lost to Michigan 3 straight. See, you got to do something. You can't come out there running that same team on paper next year. You better figure something out. Changes got to be made, and he knows it. So credit Ryan Day for, making that tough decision, kind of letting everybody know that the standard's high over here. And as difficult as it is, I hope this man nothing but the most success wherever he goes. The standard is high here. We didn't feel like Kyle McCord got that. Now, the flip side of all this is Kyle McCord could have went into this and said, hey, I don't know if I'm getting the most out of myself at Ohio State. There is one particular thing about Ryan Day's game. Now, he's going to create NFL-ready quarterbacks. But the flip side of that is he's creating NFL-ready pocket passers. We've seen what happened in Justin Fields when he went to the NFL. Justin Fields was not a running quarterback by any stretch of the imagination at all at Ohio State. It was never really explored. He goes to Chicago, and that's all he can do. That's his strong suit. I want to say that's all he can do. That's definitely a strong suit, is running the football. You say, oh, okay, maybe if I was allowed to do that more at Ohio State, it'd open things up and open my chances up to get at least draft and get in the door. There was C.J. Stroud, who all the talent in the world, went off against Georgia. It took till late into his career till we've seen that. But boy, you could argue he's the best rookie to come out of college football in the last decade. You talk about turning a franchise around. That's impressive. Nonetheless, going to Kyle McCord, though, he said maybe he's going into that situation saying, I feel like I could have got better, or I have a better situation to be put in to succeed. Maybe he wants to be a little bit more mobile. Maybe he sees other opportunities or ways to open up the playbook that more fits his play style than that Ohio State one. And that's okay, too. Kyle McCord's got to do what he does, has to do what he thinks is best for his personal game. And it could be, this is the thing with Ryan Day versus Urban Meyer, is Urban Meyer wasn't producing first-round draft picks. But Urban Meyer was producing quarterbacks that could put up points and win football games. The thing was, there's a lot of repass option. There's a lot of running the football. It made your quarterback look pretty good on the field. If you didn't make some big, you didn't make some of them passes, it was okay because there was so many other options and ways for them to win football games. Ryan Day kind of explores that, hey, I want to bring in NFL-ready wide receivers. I want to produce NFL-ready quarterbacks. And that system's been working for him for the most part. So that could be a reason Kyle McCord comes out the door. I think the big question here is, are we concerned as Ohio State fans? Are we concerned about all the portal transfers? Ohio State has, as of this morning, 11 guys in the portal. I mean, that's more than the top 6 or 7 teams combined. There's no team with more transfers in the top 15 rankings-wise in the college football right now. Are we concerned about that? That, to me, seems concerning. Fact of the matter is, I know a lot of people are saying, well, a lot of those guys weren't going to play. And it's just a star rating, for how many guys have 4+ stars, 3+ star guys walking out the door. It's just a star rating. But the thing is, it is just a star rating. But a lot of the times, it's your coaching staff's job to kind of develop all those guys with all that talent in the world. And for it to be all the talent in the world on one team conveniently, that does not add up to me to be like, oh, it's just these guys not coming to fruition. As much as it might be saying, hey, do they feel like they're not getting coached to their fullest potential? Do they feel like there's a chance of somewhere else? I don't know. Because you can look at that list and say, hey, the notable ones, Julian Fleming and Kyle McCord going into the portal. Now, Julian Fleming had all the opportunities in the world. I feel like that, that wasn't a miss by Ohio State as much as it was just Julian. If you watch Julian Fleming play, I mean, the guy showed so much talent and flashes of greatness. He could not catch the football. It's not like anytime he's kind of got some rhythm going, he make mistakes, and that hurt him, and it hurt him so much. Especially now, because next season, I mean, the door's wide open. The door's wide open for him to be that team's #1 wide receiver. Don't know what happened there. But to see that many guys in the portal in general, it does raise eyebrows. It is concerning to me. I hope it's nothing. I hope it's nothing. That's the best we can say is I hope it's nothing. It is the new normal saying college football. Any guy can enter the transfer portal. There's some money somewhere else to be made. There's more opportunities. You're guaranteed to start. The thing is, coming into a prestigious program like Ohio State is like, yeah, you lost 11 transfers, but there's always going to be all that depth in the world. Where that's what those guys probably felt like there was. They're like, oh, we're depth. We're just waiting for the next opportunity because there's so much talent on this football team. But and go somewhere else and be a starter day one right now. You ain't got to wait that year. You can jump in here, maybe get a little bit of dough thrown on the side, find an opportunity that fits me best right here, right now. Because obviously when you're a freshman, you're 18, you're a high school, it's like, yeah, I'll go to Ohio State. I'll figure it out. Everybody thinks you're going to be the starter. You get in year one, all right, young year 2, and then you're starting to question, like, okay, this isn't going the way I thought it was. In the past, you kind of wrote it out. You didn't want to take the transfer penalty. You wrote it out and was hoping for the best, that maybe an opportunity presented itself. You got a chance to play. Now you don't have to do that. So there is, there's a lot of people that say it is a good thing that Ohio State has that many transfers because they just have that much talent on this roster and there's so many guys that want to get that opportunity elsewhere and they feel like they're just buried below a ton of talent at Ohio State. The only thing that's concerning about that, again, that reasoning is Alabama ain't got that many transfers. Georgia's got like 3 or 4 transfers. I understand, the college football, the top 4 teams in college football playoffs have 1 transfer out of the 4 combined. But I think, you think about that, they're going to college football playoffs. All those guys know this is the brightest of times to be. I don't know how long you can be in a portal. Actually, so all those guys kind of know like that now is not the time to go. But we'll see. That's all I can say is you got to hope for the best for Kyle McCord. I do think, as an Ohio State fan, I think that's the right choice. I think that's the right idea for Ryan Day told him to go. You got to do it. You got to do it and say, hey, we got a chance to bring in another quarterback and give us 2 years, another quarterback with a little more talent. As far as we're concerned, we knew that the offense could have been better this season with what we had. It wasn't. I know as a coach, I got to do better. And if I sit on my hands and stick with the same quarterback and we don't get better production next season, he doesn't grow and improve, I'm going to be on the hot seat. So you got to credit Ryan Day for being willing to, have the guts here and take that chance. And it is a big chance. Because the fact of the matter is, you feel like you can do better. And this is the thing, like we always talk about the coaching change. The fact of the matter is, you think you can do better than Kyle McCord. But at the end of the day, you knew what he was getting out of Kyle McCord. Won every single football game this season but one. He could produce at a high enough level to help this team win football games. Nonetheless, love y'all's thoughts. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.